Well, if that game did not scratch the itch of the amount of Valorant that you want to be seeing over this week, well, don't you worry because we have BONK up against Les Petits Bouffons here at Polaris. I don't really know how a team of like full English people came up with Les Petits Bouffons, but I respect it. I like the name. It's great. Very cultural. I'm Ginny, and I'm joined by MP on the desk once again as well on the cast to break this one down because, if anything, these two teams are another force that you do not want to mess with.
Yeah, and out of these matchups that we had today, this was the matchup that I was thinking it's gonna be the closer one. But after that, I'm not quite sure. I think this will be really, really even. Both of these teams, they have played similar opponents in Vamonos and HSDR. Both have won Vamonos, both has lost to HSDR. So in terms of that, it seems like there's quite similar performance. But even their map pool, it seems like it's kind of on the same level. So today we're gonna see which team is gonna be the better one, Les Petits Bouffons or BONK, and it's gonna be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be copy-pasta maybe of what we've seen last game in terms of this going all the way to 3 maps. But before we make that prediction, we're going to be talking about BONK, the team that we've already had in Polaris. They were BONK, they then were Tundra, they finished second last time in Split 2 2022, and they're back at it again with a couple of changes that we've already discussed. So let's not talk about those. Let's talk about the fact that they are currently 1 and 2 in the standings. They've played a total of 5 maps, and all in all, it's looking like this team, again, one of those that's improving week by week. With some of these additions here, MP, they're not here to play. They're here to secure some games.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much here to work. Like, they have been doing a lot of work in the server. A lot of great names, obviously, bringing up the changes as well. Chihuahua in this roster coming from Excel, just kind of cementing this team. Getting that Cypher down as well. Amazing that he has been able to get back into that role after the chamber nerfs came through. So I think it's going to be real exciting to see what we have in store in this matchup as well. On the other side, you have those chambers as well. So really kind of similar teams, I would say, in terms of playstyle, in terms of performance against these other teams and map pool.
Yeah, also really similar is the fact that, no, it's not similar, because Les Petits Bouffons is 2 and 1, and they're currently second on the standings. They're here to make an absolute tear. Coming through that beacon, and they've been on it ever since. This is a force to be reckoned with. This is a team that BONK should be afraid of, because if anything, for them to win this game up against BONK, that's going to be putting them in such a comfortable position in the standings. Only 1 loss, but still, they're going to be second runner-up. And if anything, for Les Petits Bouffons, this game is going to be the one to put them, I don't want to say on the map, but solidify their position here at Polaris.
Yeah, absolutely. And Les Petits Bouffons, as is Vamonos, I think I'm loving to... or I love to see that these qualified teams that didn't quite get invited into this tournament, that qualified through, are on the same level pretty much than the other playing field. They're definitely forced to be reckoned with, and a lot of experience in this roster. Wong coming through from Focus, there's experience from 10 Star, experience from Guild, Mad Lions, and Laza is definitely one of those names that has popped off in my radar.
And more experience can be found as well on their coach, Maddie, one player turned coach. I know, MP, you would love to have made this transition. Unfortunately, you made the player analyst transition. So let's have a talk with Maddie and see what he has to say in terms of Les Petits Bouffons and what we can be expecting. We're joined here with Maddie from Les Petits Bouffons. He is the coach at the moment. First of all, welcome. I think this is the first time we're interviewing you. So let's start off maybe a little bit with yourself, your background, starting off with the fact that you actually transitioned from being a player to being a coach. So what was that adaptation process like?
So I mean, I decided to I figured out that I wasn't probably going to reach tier 1 as a player, and then I just thought, it's probably better for me to transition into being a coach now. And I had the perfect opportunity to work, with Russ and the Les Petits Bouffons guys, and so it's just perfect.
So here you are today.
Yes. So yeah, that's perfect.
Do you think like being a player actually given you maybe an advantage or like a unique insight into how to perform as a coach?
Well, I would say working with the guys, working with the players, definitely I feel like it helps. Some of the things that they meet in the game, setups and stuff like that, I'm very used to playing, like at a pretty good tier 2 level for a few years now. And so all of those things, setups, building strats and all that, yeah, I feel like that helps a lot that I was a player before.
Okay, that's really good to know because we've also seen how BONK plays over the last couple of weeks. So there is VODs available there. There is an opportunity for anti-stratting for coming up with set plays. So what is your strategy looking like going up against BONK today?
Oh,
Leaks?
I mean, I don't wanna leak too much because it would suck if it, doesn't if it wasn't to pay off, right? But I mean, I would say we prepped against them and looked at some of their setups. I mean, we know, they play Cypher on basically every map, and I feel like playing against a Cypher compared to like a Killjoy and stuff, like it's
Yeah.
a bit more predictable. Some of
Okay.
the setups and stuff. But Chihuahua is a really good player, so I guess we
Yeah.
have to see. But yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. So, are you feeling maybe a little bit nervous going up against BONK because you are second place at the moment? Both of you kind of lost to the same team as well. So maybe there's like an equal in terms of level.
Well, it's a pretty important match. I mean, we try to look at like some of the games. Like I think if we win this one or like
Yeah.
the focus one and one of the other games, we're probably in the top 4. So it is very important games now. And I mean, I'm facing some of like my old teammate in Jusu today, so it'd be
Yeah.
really nice getting a dub. And but yeah, guess we have to see. It is a very important game.
Yeah, absolutely. Top 4 is the place to be. That's where everyone wants to be at the moment. That's the goal. Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking time to do the interview. Good luck in the games today to your team. And who knows, we might
Thank you.
have you
Have a
burn
good
into it
cast.
later. Bye.
Yes.
Thank you. He said good luck with the cast, by the way. Like, how nice is
Yeah.
that? Like, that's so wholesome. But yeah, I'm sure MP, you wish you were the one being interviewed as a coach, considering you used to be back in the day, like, okay at the game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an analyst nowadays, and at least I beat LUZUH back in my days, so I think that's a great flex always. And speaking of LUZUH, we have him in our head-to-head against Yuzu, and I think it's two amazing Jet players, two amazing duelist players here. LUZUH has been popping off, making a name for himself, and I'm gonna actually quote Foxy here. He tweeted, "It's clear to see that LUZUH is excelling from the environment he plays within. He's playing great with the boys," and I completely agree. Has been amazing, and obviously you have this amazing Jet on the other side of as well, Yuzu. I think he was crucial last week. Obviously, it didn't quite grant them the win, but amazing first kills coming through, even though that he didn't quite perform in the level of getting like 20 kills, 25 kills. He had a great performance in the last map where he got 6 entries and only lost 2 entry duels where he had like, 14 kills. Those entries are crucial, even though when you're not performing.
You lost me quoting Foxy here at Val League because he is a trainer. He's back in France right now. Okay, we don't talk about that, but we're gonna be talking about the maps though because those are gonna be very important to determine potentially the outcome of these games. We saw it last time around with Bind specifically going in favor of Vamonos simply because that was one of the maps that Apex did not expect. Coming into this, I am expecting a Pearl, an Ascent, a Haven. It feels like these maps are definitely maps that both of these teams are equally comfortable on. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the trio that we're looking at today.
Yeah, for me, I think it's kind of similar. I think for me, it's Breeze, Haven, Ascent. Bind should be permaban for both of these teams. I mean, if there's gonna be another surprise Bind, I'm down. I'm happy to see Bind before it leaves because we have only seen it once.
True.
But it's not gonna be easy to predict where these guys will go because they have like this niche picks that they could go for in terms of where they have played great, maybe not even picked themselves, but they have played great. But I think Breeze, Haven, Ascent in terms of being the 3 map pool could be really solid. It's quite easy three maps to pick in these matchups, I would say.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what they picked exactly as we have the map video ready. Fracture Haven and Ascent. I got 2 out of the 3, okay? I'm like really proud of myself right now. But Bouffons going for Fracture. That is an interesting one indeed, simply because of the track record that we've seen from Bouffons on this map specifically. As far as I'm aware, it's not really something that they are, you know, that comfortable playing. They played it 11 times, but this is including the beacon. So with the changes coming in, is BONK ready?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what is going to happen here. Fracture, it was one of those maps that could come through, especially if that Breeze is banned, and the Breeze will be banned. So Fracture seems to be a solid pick. I think it's definitely a decent pick. They had a great matchup against Who Cars in terms of Petits Bouffons. They won 13-5 in Fracture. After that, they haven't really played that map. So it's hard to say whether Petits Bouffons is on fire on that map and which level will BONK play in that map, because I'm sure they have prepared, even from that one VOD that they have played in Polaris. I think that's quite enough to recognize some kind of patterns, and I think BONK, especially in terms of Bunker and their backup crew, they will be able to utilize this information. Desmo, Max, the coaches, they will be able to scout out, and I would say BONK is going to be ready for the Fracture, Haven, Ascent, the last 2 maps. For me, it's kind of 50-50. It's hard to say because both of these teams have played both of these maps at a decent level. So it's hard to predict anything for those 2.
That's okay, you don't have to predict. We're not making you predict anything, but looking at the agents like though MP, I think this is pretty standard from what we're expecting from Petits Bouffons. This is kind of like what they run all the time. I am impressed though by the fact that, I mean, not really, Chihuahua and Cypher. That's what we see. That's what we like to see, and it's what we always see. So I know this is gonna be a good one.
For me, it's Petits Bouffons sticking with this chamber Cypher, which is kind of weird. But it worked really well last time around. Laza, I think he dropped like 27 kills or something like that. He was popping off, through the force, everything was amazing. On the side of BONK, you obviously have Cider going with the Omen. I don't like the Omen as solo, but that's exactly why they have Kicks in Viper, which is questionable for me, because I like Kicks as a KO in this map, especially last season. I think he was amazing with the KO. There's multiple highlights of Kicks being amazing with that. So BONK coming without the flashes is definitely weird for me, only having that paranoia, but I'm excited to see what they have in store.
Yeah, it's a little worrying in terms of they restarting on the attacking side of things because of the lack of flashes as well, and you have the Omen, the paranoia, but again, if that's taken out of the equation, how are you going to be approaching these attacks? We'll see how that's going to be playing out. I mean, I think the raise again from both of these teams is a very, very standard pick. Just that agent in general on Fracture is such a great agent to have in use of that util. And as we're going to be starting off that pistol round, aggressive push already from the side of BONK to get out a little bit of information, but Link is going to be able to back off. And Chihuahua, again, solo holding side. I mean, this is kind of like playbook BONK, what we expected, especially Chihuahua on the Cypher. You always are going to expect him to be solo holding a site, because he's just good at that. That's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, Petits Bouffons knows exactly what is happening. The Cypher has traps somewhere. Let's not rush anything. We can just walk through, and if enemy challenges us, if they do, we should have the advantage, because they're gonna come through the smoke and just clear out those Cypher traps methodically to not get caught on, or off guard rather. BONK coming for the retake quite quickly though.
Yeah, great. It's going to be the first one to get a big juice who eventually gets the trade. Cider gets one himself, and they're already looking to stick it. There is a little bit of smoke giving them some form of safety. It's already more than half. They just do not care about it whatsoever. Chihuahua coming out with the defuse. BONK secure the pistol round in a great fashion.
Yeah, I guess that's the advantage of the Omen. You can just smoke even across the map, pretty much. You can smoke on the site. It's so much easier than the Brimstone is. For like those post plants kind of ninja diffuses coming through. I mean, right there, it's just easy to go for the diffuse, especially when you have man advantage forest 3 situation. Rest of the team just covers the site and BONK. They have the pistol down, or pistol round down at least. Now it's just following up with that. A couple of Vandals invested, which I really like.
Vandal though. I know you're a big fan of the 2 Vandals on Jesu and Cider. I think this is something that you always like to highlight. But we've seen it pay off, but we've also seen it do the complete opposite and ruin a team's economy. So the confidence from BONK right now to be able to pull that out, I think, shows a lot. So it's going to be down to how the Bouffons reacts to it. They're going to be walking into Jusu initially. He's not going to find a pick with it. He's also not going to lose his Vandal. But again, B-side looks to be the one where the Bouffons is the most comfortable. Raise date to flush kicks out. And as they're looking to do so, they just immediately collapse on him. They knew that he wasn't going to go out of tower completely. So instead, they now have a shorty. I like that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Judge is gonna be crucial on the tower, but they have no smokes to control this with. Chihuahua is there to take the pick. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Polaris score.
30 seconds left.
That
What?
Bong popping off completely with the Judge is crucial. And this is the Vandal coming into play here. He's gonna be able to find one side against the other, but still, that was an expensive round. Every single player lost whatever rifle they invested in. The judge and the jury and the executioner, I guess. Yep,
absolutely.
That's okay.
I mean, you were saying that the rifle investment is it could be really risky, but in the end, it's actually the judge investment that is gonna backfire. Yeah, not me. Von getting a kill with the classic right there, as well as switching up from this close range to long range means that BONK, they can invest a little bit, but going for real aggressive, Link is gonna punish that heavily.
Yeah, he's gonna have to back off though. A little bit of an awkward situation here. Prowler is gonna follow them along the zip line. That's pretty cool. You learn something new every day. Here we go. But again, with that repositioning, they're going to be able to get onto A side, but Chihuahua's already changed his setup. He's already expecting them to be committing to A side, but considering he's all by himself, Bouffons are going to have that security they need to get that plant down and move back into post plant.
Yeah, one away from that orbital strike. I think for the side of BONK, this is going to be a real rough retake. I think they might even think whether they want to go for it, but they do have a decent investment even if they would lose those rifles, and in the end it should be kicks only going through because Cider's already saving that bulldog. But Chihuahua is committing.
Well, you try your best, but you don't succeed.
This is
Kicks is not even looking.
Yeah. It's so weird and interesting to me that actually Bonker and Chihuahua, they're gonna go for it. They try to go for a kill, and Cider is already wrapping around, going for a save, going for maybe those post-plant kills, and he actually gets 2, which is fairly good for the Bulldog. But a little discrepancy right there for the side of BONK. Doesn't matter, they can full buy this next round, it's all good. And now just fully focus on a gun round. Le Petit Bouffon, they finally get a 1. But can they start to dominate here? Orbital strike on the hands of Vong. They could use that. And I think Vong has been instrumental as well for the side of Le Petit Bouffon. Yeah, Lassa was amazing. Amazing kills. Like crazy highlights. But I think Vong is so crucial in this map. Or at least has been the one time that they played it.
This is the second time that they play, so I guess all eyes on Vong. I mean, even with that judge that he picked up earlier, he was able to maybe not secure the round, but still it was incredibly expensive. The aggressive play that we're looking right now from BONK, again, it comes down to you only have paranoia. You can only use that. You don't have any flashes, so how are you going to give your players the safety to push out aggressively and try to get a trade or a pick or both? And I think, again, that brings a couple of questions in terms of the agents that they feel comfortable playing on this map. But all in all, so far for BONK, it has worked out. But also a little bit of miscommunication that we've seen last round. That is, I think, to me, that is the most concerning part, especially if you've been playing together for a little bit. It's been a couple of weeks now here at Polaris. Those little miscommunications are a little scary, and so is Jusu. That's something that we always have to keep in mind because they right now have lost Blizzard, no longer with them.
30 seconds left.
Gray, kinda in an awkward position, and a lot of utility invested to just take control of this, but BONK will come back. They will take the A main control. They do not care about the orbital strike. They will just push forward.
Yeah,
Link
is now Left by himself, he doesn't even have the spike.
10 seconds.
10 seconds
Just
left.
having to save here.
Yep.
So much time spent just thinking whether do we want to take this aim in control? Are we gonna go forward? And that's one of the strengths for the Omen. You can just wait with the paranoia in hand, play it from the contact of a teammate, and it's so good on the defensive side onto A main. Like what, a month ago? No, probably like 2 weeks ago you could even play those one ways. Now you can't really, so you play this kind of smoke. But the paranoia is so effective on the defensive side, but attacking side, I don't think it's gonna pay off that well. Le Petit Bouffons, really early timeout.
Yeah, I think that's a good timeout to call. If anything that we've seen from the last map, specifically between Apex and Vamonos, was the fact that if you give a team a little bit too long to build that momentum, it could be the end of the map for you. So getting this timeout from Le Petit Bouffons, the right call here to make, simply because they have a couple of ults that are going to be coming online. You have Lynx as Showstopper, you have Craze Neural Theft, you have Rolling Thunder from Russ as well that they can invest this round. So it's a question of, do they want to, or would they rather wait and get Tour de Force in as well? How do they want to approach this from an economic perspective? Because their economy is not looking that great. This buy that they're coming with is potentially not the most optimal buy to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this round. But if you don't do so, you're looking at BONK side as well. They have a great buy coming into this, and they have 3 ults available for them as well. So it's a matter of what comes first. Again, like, are you going to let BONK invest their ults first and then you counter that, or are you going to use yours to get onto site, get the space, get that pressure, and then wait to deal with BONK's retake and aggression afterwards, once you've already depleted most of your resources?
Yeah, I think BONK is going to be the one who's making the first move. Laza, so quick with it though.
Yeah, a little late for Cider. Don't think they expected Laza to be up on the box. It felt like the crosshair was moving more towards B main rather than getting that levitation. So this is very similar to what we've seen Mystic do with the Killjoy lockdown. Just change it a little bit of an elevation coming into play. Not what they're usually expecting, and it does throw them a curveball. And again, this time for BONK, just as we've seen from Vamonos, that curveball was enough to do some damage.
Yeah, but Le Petit Bouffons. BONK is the first in line as well with the Seraph. Getting that pick. Seems like the site is gonna go to their way. They know exactly that BONK at least has one player in upper spawn. And Link, even pinging that position. They should be able to get a perfect post-plant situation. What can BONK do? Showstopper available still.
Yeah, as of now, they have that plan down. I think this is the first that we've seen them get in a while. The first defuse that we've seen from BONK was just a ninja defuse. So again, this is something that you have preconditioned Le Petit Bouffons for. They are aware this is going to happen. And we're seeing that it looks like, just to say from the side of BONK, I think this time around, better when it comes to that communication.
Yep. I like this save. It's gonna be real tough retaking this side. You have nothing in control. There's few players who are kind of low in HP, but when you save this Chihuahua slider, they can both buy a rifle, and you can have a full buy next round coming with that showstopper as well. I like the idea that BONK had at the start of the round. Really aggressive Viper wall, getting control there, and trying to go aggressive with 2 players, but it didn't quite pay off because Le Petit Bouffons, they were so ready. Laza, kind of surprising with the position as well. And Le Petit Bouffons, they get the second round on board. But the one thing that I like here, that we're seeing quite a lot of these full buys from both of these teams. Smart Valorant in terms of saving, in terms of economy, I think, especially from the last round. And BONK, once again, they have a chance to win this gun round. So does Le Petit Bouffons, but they seem to be going against Kicks and Chihuahua.
They're not making the same mistake, though, in terms of pushing out aggressively, regardless of that position of the Viper wall. Instead, they're playing it back on tower, a safe position to be in. But again, a lot of util is going to be invested to try and flush Kicks out of that position. He's going to have to use that snake bite to give himself a little bit more of a sense of security. But meanwhile, Chihuahua is left to fend all for himself onto site, which does leave him vulnerable to Russ, and therefore they already lost 1 player. Kicks is looking to re-aggress. Cray has been spotted out because we do have the Nightfall coming in from Cray. Does find 1 Vong. The other Cider, though, is going to get a little bit of a trade. But the numbers advantage is still in the bag for the Petit Bouffons. They've only lost Cray so far. And they still have a lot of ults that they could invest. It's just a couple of points away from both Luzah and Link, and Russ is sitting on that Rolling Thunder looking to deploy it whenever is necessary. But once again, from the looks of it, BONK and Josu, they're deciding to go for another save.
Yeah, I really like the duels that Bouffons put out there. Amazing trades coming through as well. Obviously, they have the numbers advantage, so you have to utilize that. You have to go for the trades, and you will always win if you trade that duel. And 3-3, we even out the odds. BONK, once again, they have a couple of rifles. They have a little bit of an investment here, and maybe Bunker. Yeah, Bunker going for Stinger as well. It seems like Petits Bouffons, they don't really want to contest this A main, which is, I mean, I really like it because the Omen Paranoia is going to be ready there. You could maybe do some stuff with use of satchels, trying to bait out that Paranoia, but it seems like they rather opt out from the A main, and Link is just gonna be holding here.
Yeah, you're expecting a little bit of aggression again. They're coming in on a bit of a worse buy. They're looking to aggress early on, maybe get a pick or two, but instead of going for A main, they're looking to push through this. They're gonna have that Rolling Thunder coming online just to get that showstopper, because he did spot out Link. He is expecting there to be multiple players, gets caught in the wire and still manages to find a pick. Make that two, because Ruts gets taken out as well, and that leaves 2 members down for the side of Petits Bouffons. While all that commodity was happening, yes, they get the plant, but at what cost? Kray's gonna have that opportunity to get pushed a little bit through onto A main, but still it's looking rather difficult as multiple members are still alive. Luzah does manage to pick out Chihuahua, but still Kray gets forced away, and with his back turned to Justu, immediately punished for it. The snake bite is a little bit of a distraction. Vong does manage to pick off 1 player. He's looking to make it a second, but Bonkar is not giving him that opportunity to do so, and that is a defuse coming through. A solid round from BONK.
Absolutely. The push coming through. At first, it didn't seem like Yuzo could get forward, could get the momentum to even find these picks, but then finding a second one while getting trapped by the Cypher trap fire is amazing. And isolating Kray right there, just pushing him back. That could have been crucial. If Kray got back and they got that CT control, that could have been detrimental for BONK. But Yuzo getting that pick, and this is exactly why we highlighted him. Not only he's great with the jet, but he can do wonders with the Raze as well.
Yeah, that Raze has just been so instrumental for both of these teams, to be completely honest here. It's one of those Asians, again, that this is really that map where she shines on. A lot of nooks and crannies to be able to get into. A lot of opportunities to be able to modify and just get into some of these positions that potentially your opponent might not be expecting. But with the Tour de Force online, for LUZUH, you still have the Neural Theft, you have Vong now with that Orbital Strike once again. Link still has the Showstopper, he's been holding on to it for a while now. Bouffons can throw a lot at this round.
Yeah, I really like that BONK still, they're not forcing this Omen in A main, even though it's really strong. They're not forcing it every round. And BONK just re-aggressing into main. Luzah, how does he even get away with that?
Illegal, but it still happens, it still works.
Getting
And
away
that's
with
an
the murder.
advantage.
What? Kray, he's gonna get the Neural Theft, surely, yeah.
It's gonna move up a lot of positioning, but the good thing here from BONK is that they have equal members on both sides. So the aggression onto A, yes, is going to be possible. You have a numbers advantage, rotations coming in very quickly, but still a lot of food to be dealing with. And that is a knifeful investment to just push them off a little bit further. Link coming out with that Showstopper, looking to connect, and it's going to connect on kicks. Indeed, taken out immediately. Chihuahua does find 1 player, is going to be able to tag them out, but Link is on an absolute tear. BONK are taken out immediately. Cider is just making his way on downtown to be able to get to A and help Chihuahua with the retake, who's been all by himself, surviving for as long as he possibly can. Cider does find 1. Chihuahua looking to add to the tally, but it's instead Cider who's coming out on top. He's already taken down 2 members. The playing field has been leveling. Paranoia coming out, but LUZUH with that Tour de Force is a force. Chihuahua immediately gets put down. Cider gets another, but Vong plays off of that contact. Petits Bouffons equalized it 4-4.
Great round. It all begins from that aggression coming from the side of BONK, which I think is great. Going for this aggression is great. I don't know how Luzah gets away with it. Just that slow after the ultimate as well allows him to just, yeah, perfectly get away, force the enemy team back, force BONK back, and get that neural theft to be able to execute onto A side pretty freely. And coming from the side of Link, that side that Kick saw is nothing that you ever want to see. The showstopper coming straight forward, and there's nothing you can do, especially when you're like Viper. You cannot move and you cannot wrap around. Ultra Strike already invested into tower, but can they even gain ground off of this?
No, Kix is just going to be moving right back, and nades as well thrown at him. I think a lot of the rounds here at tower, Kix has just been trying to displace, and this time around it does work out, as both him and Chihuahua are taken care of. And as these two members fall, BONK immediately calls for a save.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I think it's a good decision, but you cannot save every round.
Yeah.
I think you have to go, especially just trying to find some confidence right here.
Russ is looking for exit frags, so even if you're saving, are you really going to keep them? Okay, yes you are.
At this time, there's going to be 4 more players fighting. And Petits Bouffons, they have no problem going for this. They have great economy. Almost everyone over 3.5k. And they can just look for the picks. And if they even find 1 or 2, that's going to be crucial. It seems like they cannot shake BONK's save that much, and they will save 3 rifles, but we have shields. Was it worth it? I'm not quite sure. And once again, I want to bring up Kicks on this Viper. I think the guy is really flexible. He can play many different roles. Yeah, sure. I think the Viper, in terms of you having Omen, is a perfect fit. Someone has to play that. But I think Kicks just with the KO was amazing last season, and that's exactly what I would love to see. But for now, you have to manage. You have to go with what you have here. And I'm not saying that BONK is doing bad. I don't think they're doing bad at all. They still have a really good chance of winning. Petits Bouffons, they're just leading by 1 round. But there's individual performance that I would probably see higher if they would play a different agent.
Yeah, but also it feels like BONK right now are struggling a little bit to find their confidence. A lot of these saves are called, and even we saw that miscommunication early on, it might have shaken them a little bit. So it's a matter of trying to come back from this. And it's a good way to start. Cider getting that first pick early on, a little bit of damage done on Bong with that nade. And still, they are yet to clear out tower where both Chihuahua and Kicks are hiding up. So as much as that Viper's Venom has like pushed you away, has pushed Petits Bouffons away from getting onto tower, it's also given a lot of safety, but Cider is just on a tear. You get that nade combined with the wallbang from him, that's already the plan down, and now LUZUH is the only one left standing from the side of the Petits Bouffons. He doesn't have a spike. He has an operator, but does he want to lose it? That's the question.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, actually, you have so much money. It doesn't matter if you go for it. You should be able to buy for the last 2 rounds. In terms of having the operator on the opposite side, I think that's a definite question that you wanna ask yourself. Oh! What?
Too close. Too close for comfort.
I mean, we have seen this one before, coming from LUZUH, and now you have operator in the hands of LUZUH. I think LUZUH going with a Vandal right there, maybe trying to pick up a Vandal from the ground, would that be better instead of giving that operator on the side of LUZUH? I don't think that's great. Like, it doesn't matter that you lose the operator, but when you have on the opposite side, it's not gonna look great. BONK, they're gonna make some aggressive push once again from B. Get the operator in a good angle, but A main is gonna be the target for Petits Bouffons.
Gotta be spotted out. The flash is not gonna be doing much to this side, and they're gonna go for that white swing. Link's gonna find both of them. Case and Chihuahua looking to play off of each other, but it does not go as planned. BONK are forced off even further back with that nade, and that blows the A side wide open.
Yeah, but it's BONK or left. I think BONK going for a lot of these saves has been kind of risky. In this kind of situation, you do not want to, at least instantly, don't want to go for a save. You should gamble one side, and it seems like they're going to go for more of this A side stack. It's not gonna be the right side to go for, and this could be once again safe because you're looking at the round 12. If you're gonna gamble the side wrongly,
Yeah.
I think it has to be a save, and Le Petit Bouffons just closing in, getting that spike down. I would say most likely getting 6-5.
Yeah. I think this is, yeah, it doesn't look like BONK want to rotate from their position. It feels like maybe if anyone looks for exit frags, then potentially BONK is looking to shut that down. But this is what, the 4th save that we have seen from BONK. And it's a little concerning because to me it feels like they're not happy to take any risk whatsoever when they don't have at least a numbers advantage or a numbers equalization. And that's a little concerning to me because you're on Fracture. It's one of the maps where you have to be proactive, and you're starting off the rounds really strong. You're getting a pick, you're getting 2 picks, and if it doesn't go your way, to continuously decide to go for saves, I don't think we've seen that before here in Polaris. I'm sure it might be the right call to make. You have that operator now still. You might lose 1 player, yep. You've lost 1, but Cider and Yusuf, eventually they do get LUZUH, but still, it's throwing question marks in terms of their mentality here. Like, what are they playing at? I think that's my main question.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say anything bad about those saves in terms, because I think even statistically it's better to go for those saves and go for the next round rather than go for a 3 versus 5. But yeah, yeah, exactly. I want to see like Yusuf go for that retake with Bunker and someone else, Chihuahua, get that confidence, get those picks, and maybe build up from there instead of going like 4 saves and a half. I think the save is definitely a great option, but you don't want to go like 4 rounds and a half. Like you pointed out, BONK going for the timeout. I think it's great. They have couple ultimates, nothing too fancy. Yeah, you have the Viper Spit, which is most likely gonna be the point where they're gonna want to focus in this timeout and in this defensive round. They want to invest it in heavily contested players, maybe even a main, and trying to lock that one down. Yusuf with the operator could easily even get that showstopper.
Yeah, there's only 1 point away for Yusuf to get that showstopper online, which again has been quite useful for now. From what we've seen in the past few rounds, he's been able to get some utilization off of it. But I want to see more proactiveness from BONK. All we're seeing so far is either they go proactive 1 round, then it doesn't work out, so they stop, and then they go back at it 2 rounds after. And it feels like maybe a little complacent, so to say. Viper Spit on A, I think this is something that is to be expected, but this time around, instead of pushing A main, which what we've seen the two Bouffons do time and time again, they are going to be pushing through Dish, and a little bit of an adaptation, which could potentially throw a spanner in the work for BONK.
Absolutely. That Cypher Trap is good. Give us BONK the information that most likely there's going to be heavy stack on Dish, or they're going to be behind the Viper wall. They have good control of B main, but still it's only Bunker on the side of BONK that is holding this A side, and he gets taken out instantly. A main is in the hold of BONK rather, but how much are they gonna do with this?
Yeah, the rotations are still gonna be looking to come through CT, maybe a couple from A main, but all in all, Dish is under lock and key when it comes to the side of Bouffons, so they don't have to worry about it too much. And instead, they're playing this really proactively. They're going really aggressive. They're looking to push it into the territory of BONK, and they get that first pick. Showstopper is online and executed as well. It's not going to find any picks themselves. Just looking to get a couple of picks here with the nade, but it's not going to tag anyone. Vong having that down is just making it so much more difficult for them to even get onto site without even being touched. Cider does find 1, but at the moment it's all he's going to be good for because LUZUH still has the operator online. Jisu gets 1, but is he going to be able to make it more? I don't think so. Time's ticking, and 7-5 for Les Petits Bouffons on their attacking side of things, which historically, from what we've seen so far at Polaris, every team, for some reason, seems to be better at defense. I don't know why, but it just seems to be the case on every map.
Yeah, I think right now BONK they have to pop off on attack. They have to absolutely go off, and I think Chihuahua, if he can gather himself, it seems like Chihuahua at the moment in terms of looking at the kills and in terms of looking at the first half, I don't think he had a lot of moments where he could go for a pop-off round, where he could gain that confidence. And for the side of BONK, talking about Fracture and attack side, with that Cypher, they have to, Chihuahua has to gain that confidence. Has to be that menace on the lurk. And if he cannot be, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, but also, I think having Chihuahua on the Cypher, as you know, we've seen in the interview with Maddie, it's something that Bouffons is expecting. They've looked into it, they're aware of it, they know this is going to be the case. So therefore, just like we saw Excel do last time around, it's Tundra, they were ready for Excel when Chihuahua was playing the Cypher. They had needed priorities in place to deal with it. There you go, he's the first one to be taken out. They are expecting him to go for that flank. They get control over tower. Ross and Vong lighting up that kill feed once again, and BONK one left standing. Still gonna be able to do much here. Second pistol round this time around is gonna be going in favor of Les Petits Bouffons, and that's simply because there was no ninja defuse, which is what we've seen from BONK on that pistol. I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, like, I think it was a great strat in terms of BONK coming in that round, pushing up Canteen. It's something that you do not expect. Players caught off guard by that paranoia, but no one's quite able to connect any shots, and they just get away. I think it was Wong who got away from Canteen. They can reposition, play really well together, and Les Petits Bouffons, that's exactly what they do. They play really well together and win out the pistol round and invest into a Vandal and Bulldog. Not quite the investment that BONK made, but still should be quite strong.
They have classics, which is a great tab. But the thing with Les Petits Bouffons here, which is something that we've seen BONK do, was the fact that they invested in 2 Vandals. It feels like Les Petits Bouffons are not really taking those leaps to do so, which I am personally completely happy with. They have a Vandal on Link instead. He's been their main fragger. He's been doing a lot this game, so give him the hero Vandal. Let him loose.
Absolutely. Cray, gonna get that information sooner or later, and now he does. I think he gets away from the C's as well, and also holding down B main. He should get a little bit scared soon. Because Arcade has been taken by the side of BONK.
Yeah, they're really pushing into tower. They're gonna only find 1 pick though. It's not gonna be enough for Cray. He needs that reinforcement to be coming if they're just running at you. Kind of even a meat grinder at this point. Vong though and Ross, they do find a couple of picks. A couple of missed shots here from LUZUH. BONK is the one to be getting that final pick, but he's also now that final man standing, looking to go down, gets picked up immediately. And Les Petits Bouffons are now heading towards double digits very comfortably.
I'm just amazed how LUZUH hit no one right there, and no one hit LUZUH. It's just shots missing back and forth, and then he pulls out the headhunter, and that's the point when LUZUH gets a kill. Obviously traded away as well, but it's not too big of a loss. Getting out of that or giving out that Marshall. They might even invest something alongside this Bulldog and a Vandal. In a tough situation, if they want to go for the full invest, they cannot really buy for the next round. So could be just trying to play around those rifles and that Stinger. It's going to be technical pause before BONK even gets to play this gun round.
Technical pause. I wonder... The thing is with these technical pauses, I mean, both of these teams are going to have a little bit of time to kind of recollect themselves and get back into the swing of things. But for Les Petits Bouffons, it's looking like they have already found their footing on this map. Like, obviously, this is why they've picked it. They're comfortable on both the attack and the defense, something that potentially we couldn't really say from the series that we've seen previously, where it felt very heavily defense-oriented for both teams on every single one of the maps. So this time coming around, the Petits Bouffons are starting off really strong.
Absolutely. And getting this pistol down is crucial for them to even maybe getting a close down in this map. Actually, 1 Vandal invested, another Stinger coming through for the side of Russ. And they might be looking to get something with that. And LUZUH will absolutely get that. Imagine, this guy is... Right now, he's on a Vandal, but when he gets that Operator, it's gonna be wild. But so is Juicy going for these entries. Just amazing 2K. And now it's only Vong left onto A site.
I mean, you say only Vong, but we've seen what this man can do. I think, and that's also, again, the situation and the headspace that BONK is in at the moment. We've seen it from their saves. They are aware of what Bouffons is capable of, and they don't want to take any risks unless it's a solid plan and a solid move forward. They don't want to commit to it too much. They're not going to be spotting out BONK. So they're not aware. Okay, that will spot out BONK. He's going to even get a pick off of them. Still players coming out through... He's gonna find one, and that's all he's gonna be good for. There's still 3 members left to deal with, but Luzu and Cray are coming really with those rotations. They're playing together as a team this time around, not what we've seen really from BONK. Felt like they were a little bit disjointed at this retake. Luzu gets both of them. Plays beautifully off of the contact of Cray, and now it's him up against Cider. He's not aware of Cider's positioning, but is able to use some of that util to eventually get out of a sticky situation. He's gonna have to clean every single one of the corner. He's gonna spot him. But Cider wins that gunfight, and they get a round on the board that they so desperately needed.
That round was way too expensive, though. You don't want to give LUZUH this confidence, these chances. That could have been 10th round on the board for Petits Bouffons. I mean, amazing kills coming through from you, so that was mid-air, or this was mid-air as well. I think they challenged main really well, but LUZUH... somehow, some way he's able to get those kills and get it almost down to their side. BONK having to go with the Bulldog. Half shields as well. Almost across the board. They're still looking for that round 7. Nightfall available. User 1 away from Showstopper. Could be really strong point coming into this round if they want to go for the orb.
Yeah, LUZUH'S the only one from the side of Petits Bouffons who is close to that ult orb. He needs 1, and then he has that Tour de Force online. Nightfall is going to be connecting with LUZUH here. Position is going to be giving it away. Nate trying to displace him, that's exactly what he does. He's going to have to go back to safety into tower, and it's Juzu the one to be dealing that killing blow. And with that, the B side is completely open. Link, though, on that rotation. He's on the flank, he gets 1 pick. Showstopper is going to be coming through as well. But no members are towards. Yeah. And now, after having this planned out, I like what we're seeing from BONK. They're not sitting and waiting for post-plant. Instead, they're deciding to push into the Petits Bouffons, which is actually giving them an advantage because Russ definitely was not expecting that.
Absolutely not. Cray trying to go for something in the side. Wrong. Finds one. Even out the odds. 3-3. But there's still snake bites left. The cloud is up. It's gonna be real tough for Petits Bouffons, and even to get control of tower, there's not a chance. It's only Link left. No utility in hand. The spike is ticking down. Sure, BONK's players, they are so low, and Link will actually get a kill. Almost the second one. So BONK will be closing down. Getting closer. 2 rounds away.
Yep. Looking at it historically as well, it felt like every team was able to get 2 rounds, and then at some point in time, the Petits Bouffons were able to extend that to more than getting 2 rounds in a row, and they were able to get that lead. So now, historically speaking, right, if we're looking back in history, back in the day, the Petits Bouffons should be winning this one, but the fact that they're coming in on this on an eco round, they only have 2 ults available. The question is, are they going to be investing these ults again in an eco round? Is that the decision they want to make, or do they want to wait until they have a full buy and can potentially guarantee a win? Because as of now, this attacking side from the Petits Bouffons is not looking as strong as we might have expected it to be.
The Petits Bouffons, I think they're struggling getting control of these entry points right now, and even that Tour de Force getting forced out just highlights how good BONK is right now. Just getting control, utilizing that fade of getting these like choke points out, getting the Tour de Force out. That was so crucial in the last game that Petits Bouffons played in Fracture. But look at Chihuahua. Is he even gonna check here?
By the looks of it, not yet. No, he will. He's going to be able to pick up 2 of them. That's Christmas come early or late, because we are in January, so like, it depends how you want to look at it, but I'm going to say early. I'm going to say like 11 months early. Quick maths.
Yeah, but that's Christmas for sure, at least. Getting the neural theft as well. And opening up the A side, knowing that the rotations are going to come through, but the site is free.
I'm not
Luzu.
expecting Jisoo to be
One
right under
enemy
them.
remaining.
Very
No,
clearly
no
not
way.
expecting Scyther either. Luzu has already invested a tour de force. He's gonna be able to get off one player, but he's not expecting Jisoo to be right behind BONK, who actually is. That way, they're only one round away from closing it off, MP.
It is so close. And I think BONK, looking back a few rounds, they're really good at getting the momentum back right here. Getting the grip of this map. I think it's all from the back of that timeout as well. Petits Bouffons calling one for themselves as well. I think it's a great timeout. You should take this. Already invested one in the first half. And after that, I think it looked pretty decent for Petits Bouffons. They got 7 rounds in the half. And now they have 3 ultimates coming up. Russ, also one away from that Rolling Thunder. That could help them so much. Even in this defensive half. Getting those retakes. I think we were talking about Kick struggling on the defensive side. I think it's even like the complete defensive side setups, especially for Cypher and Viper. Cypher in terms of Petits Bouffons in Cray. I think for some reason these setups are getting dodged. All of these players are so aware where the Cypher are playing, and I think it's kind of weird because we are just like what 2-3 weeks into the Cypher meta.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see it. I'm happy that they are so aware and getting like the utility out of these situations and not getting caught.
Yeah, but also Kicks on the Viper, maybe not getting out of this agent what he expected to be getting out of. I think, as we mentioned, even when we saw the agent select having Kicks on an agent like KO, the flashes for the team, but also for himself, could have potentially worked out in a different scenario. But still, they're doing great with the resources that they have available to them at the moment. Now that they're moving on to that attack from the side, BONK, it's looking more steady than the defensive side for sure, which is a little interesting considering the competition that they went for, but still, if it works, it works.
Absolutely. Kicks investing in the Viper's Pit as well makes it so much harder to even retake this. Showstopper could be really potential here, and if you get neural theft somehow from the side, Petits Bouffons, they might have a round on their hands, but BONK, they look so strong here. A lot of utility for the post plant as well, but Laza, he's there to punish.
First pick already down, but still, you have to deal with that Viper's Pit. That is something that is not easy.
Never mind, they drop it.
Oh, that is the showstopper straight into tower. Kicks is gonna have to eat that right into the base. And Jarrah is the only one left. Oh, he gets 2. Operator gone, but there should be enough time for Cray to be sticking that defuse. And that way, the two Bouffons are gonna be able to secure themselves double digits.
It's interesting that they dropped the Viper's Pit so early. Kicks just wanting to get into tower, and that gains or grants rather the Petits Bouffons so much ground in the site. It's so odd. Obviously you have the risk of facing the showstopper, neural theft, everything coming through, but it's still, for some reason, I don't think that was the play. I think you keep the Viper's Pit up as long as possible and maybe rotate Cider out of that site. Technical pause coming through once again, and I think BONK, just looking at the ultimates that they had the Viper's Pit and not quite getting anything out of that. It's a real shame when looking at Petits Bouffons. They still have Rolling Thunder and Orbital Strike coming through.
Yeah, also when we're looking at BONK, I think as much as, yes, getting Cider to play out of that Viper's Pit potentially, he was very low in HP, so for him to do that would put him at a disadvantage. Having Kicks play outside of it potentially might have not been the right play, because we did see the fact that that Viper Pit got dropped. Could have been just a miscalculation. There, he was very close to the Viper's Pit. Tower does give you as well a lot of security in terms of the angles that you are able to clear, so it could have been just a setup for the post plan that maybe in terms of the calculation didn't go the way it was planned.
Yeah, I mean, Kicks had the Cloud Orb, had Snake Bites as well, at least one of them. So, kind of makes sense, but still an odd call to make, at least in my point of view. But Petits Bouffons, they close out the double digits. They're secure in that term, that they're closer to the OT. And BONK right now, they still have another gun round to play with. But they cannot quite lose this one. I think it's gonna be real tough. It allows Le Petit Bouffon to maybe even get 12th round on the board when you look at the economy. Same for Le Petit Bouffon. If BONK can win this, they are in a great position to even it out.
Yeah, I think both of these teams now, this is the round really that is riding on. So for them to have that timeout a little bit right before coming into this, very important. That is a Rolling Thunder coming in very early in the round. Combined with the Orbital Strike, it's gonna do some damage to BONK, but not enough to take him out of the game just yet. The Boombot is gonna be spotted out as well. Vong does manage to take Jisoo out. And that is 5 HP left on Kicks and 45 on BONK. Not an ideal situation to be in this time around, just as we've highlighted how important this round is gonna be for both of these teams' economies.
Yeah, and Laza holding with the operator on B side, just trying to lock down that arcade. And it's gonna be real hard to even counter this. Do they have enough utility to clear it? Seems like not. Chihuahua Cider? Okay.
Yep. I mean, LUZUH is gonna be able to spot him, so it's gonna be just a shot through the dark. The Chihuahua does manage to get past him. He's completely unaccounted for. LUZUH, though,
wow.
he's gonna find Cider instead, and that give him the opportunity to teleport back. Chihuahua going up on rope. It's the shorty they're gonna have to be dealing with. And unfortunately, Chihuahua is not able to do so. LUZUH just solo holding this from tower. That is a third pick. Kicks does eventually manage to get up. But he only has 5 HP remaining. Ooh, with the molly under his feet burning. He is not in a great position. No spike, 10 seconds, nowhere to go. And just like that, the Petits Bouffons are on 11 rounds.
You cannot go to A. There's 3 players, 4 player rotating. You will die there, a lot of utility. But you cannot go to B either, because it's Laza there with the operator shorty.
So
getting
where do you
3
go?
kills. Yeah. I mean, enemies to the west, enemies to the east. I think, I feel like BONK feel so choked out right now. It seems like there's no out for them to go for either one of these sides. Both of them are locked down. No? Oh, the pace is so quick.
Oh my goodness. Link, that's another Boombot kill. Okay, at least it's 1 and not 2. Chihuahua and Kicks do light up a little bit of that kill feed, get a pick each. Nate coming in. And Vong is always that one player that just kind of goes under the radar, and then he's just like, surprise, I'm here. He's obviously a little bit more enthusiastic than me, but I don't really know how he would say something. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, once again, BONK, they're in a tough situation. 2 versus 5, Kicks at 15 HP. You have to find some kind of big bunker, trying to look for something, almost gets punished. Just dancing around, and Gray will find Kicks. It's only bunker left. Vong there to support as well.
Yeah, they don't even have to peek this. They can just force BONK to be the one to go for it, instead playing off each other's contact. Perfectly done. 12 and 8. The Petits Bouffons in the lead. And with that, looking at the buy that BONK is going to have to scrap together. Yes, they have Nightfall, they have Neural Theft, but is it going to be enough?
It already started looking good for BONK for those 15, 16 and 17 round. I think even that 18, it wasn't bad. I think there was that mistake of dropping the Viper Wall. I don't quite agree with that. But after that, Le Petit Bouffon, they have just rolled through. They are so confident. They're getting A main control. And right now, they're placing 3 players on the B. They know they have made a lot of pressure onto A previous few rounds. So they don't have to commit too much for their Laza.
He just sprinted. Love that.
He never misses those shots though.
Sometimes.
Not quite.
Never say never.
That's true. Okay, Yusa. Good pick.
That's already Cray down, but still, you still have 4 more members to deal with. You have an operator, and not just any operator, by the way, guys. This is Laza on the operator, which I'm scared. Yep. I'm pretty sure MP is scared too.
I'm scared.
Understand.
Wrong. Equalizing the odds.
Ooh.
Yusa, making the best out of himself. What? How does Russ even get that?
Showstopper gets Rust though, so it doesn't matter. Equalized trade at the end of the day. Numbers advantage going in favor of BONK this time around, but Link is not accounted for, gets Bunker, equalizing it. This time around, it looks like A site is the safe one to go for. Every member from the side of Petits has been dragged towards B. So the rotations are going to be coming in, and it's going to give BONK enough time to set up this post-plant and plant the spike as well, of course.
Spike planted.
Yeah, Link rotating from upper spawn to lower spawn might make BONK wonder where they're coming from, and Cider already having to look at multiple angles right there. It's not gonna be the easiest.
It's gonna be a matter of can they coordinate this retake accordingly, because Link and LUZUH both have to make it work. Cider was absolutely ready for that one. They do, however, now have information in terms of Cider's position, but with the time ticking and the fact that this is an operator that you potentially do not want to lose, LUZUH'S gotta call this safe, which I think here it makes sense.
Absolutely. It's the best thing you can do. You don't not want to give this operator away, but also you don't really have a chance in that round. I mean, we talk about LUZUH. Of course you have a chance, but still, for the economic side, I think that's a great save. And LUZUH once again, it seems like this man is unstoppable in Fracture. I mean, any map, pretty much. But at least right now in Fracture, LUZUH with the chamber is unstoppable. 22 kills. Operator once again in the hands of LUZUH. And BONK back against the wall. 3 rounds to win.
Yeah, and Bouffons 3 ultimates online. They just need an orb each. And that would actually make it 4 because they already have the neural theft from Cray. So any kill that any of these players get can turn the tide completely of this round. Yep. Regardless of how good it might be looking for BONK.
Oh, LUZUH, what a timing!
Ooh.
Bunker almost catching him off guard. That would have been so good pick. BONK just trying to sneak up, clear out all of this utility. This is exactly what you want to see. But are you going to expect a Cypher there as well, Bunker?
He's pushing through the Viper smoke, which brave to do so. He still has to clear out tower. Cray is still sitting there. Juicer is going to find the first pick. He's finding the second. The paranoia is going to push Cray in an awkward position. He's going to have to hold the side all by himself, but Juicer is the first one to turn his crosshair on him. It's leaving Vong all by himself. He needs one pick for that orbital strike. But it's looking like another save for the Petits Bouffons.
Yeah, this time around it's Le Petit Bouffon who's saving. Round after round. It's only 2 rounds. And Juicer, amazing picks. Getting out those first 2 kills, then being like the backbone of your team and going first with the race, just dominating that side, getting the 3rd kill, will maybe even allow him to have that showstopper in this half, in this game, if they can push this to overtime. And maybe even round 24 before that. 1. It's our first one.
Nate is gonna displace him, gets another, but that'll be it.
That's actually great for Yuzu, because now he gets a kill and dies, so he's 2 orbs closer for the showstopper. He could even farm them up in this round. That's like the perfect plan. I'm not quite sure if that was the plan, but that's perfect outcome for Yuzu, I think. And even if you don't get the ult right here, you could have it for round 24, because Le Petit Bouffon, they kind of have to save. Obviously you have tour de force, you have a rifle. LUZUH with the tour de force is no joke.
Yeah, just give Link that orb. Get that online. I mean, we said the tour de force. What tour de force? It went away.
I guess...
just as quickly as it came online.
Yeah, I guess Kicks is like, it's kind of joke.
I know exactly where you
Neural theft though. Another thing to be taking into consideration here, because it's gonna be revealing the positions, and yeah, B side is ripe for the taking.
It is. Only 1 rifle to contest, that's in the hand of Link, and Link is the furthest away. BONK, they should get the spike down, they should get this side in control. Should be a good looking post plant. Still a lot of ultimates for the side of Le Petit Bouffon. Do they want to invest them?
It's a matter of investing it now or investing it on round 24 when you actually have a better buy. But again, this is something that they've been playing with for a couple rounds in a row now. Link and Cray do manage to find something that's a showstopper online, and it is going to be put into this time around. Boombot looking to find any information. It's not going to get one, but it will. Bonkar is blinded in a bit of an awkward position. Rust looking to take the kicks out from tower. This is his favorite place, it feels like, on this map. Last player standing is Link. He's looking to clutch it up, but it's Kicks, the man of the hour, giving his team another lifeline.
It's
just
so close,
like that. And just like that, it's 1 round each.
And it's amazing how much Le Petit Bouffons can do off of that. Cider, I kind of love the aggression that he's going for in CT, just trying to get that duel, but it doesn't quite go their way. That's thinking that they do not want to wait for that other smoke to clear out, get that spike plant down there, just want to go for the aggression. It could have been really bad, but Link is not able to connect, and Kicks finally stepping up to the plate really well. That is exactly what you want to see when you're closing in on overtime. Viper's Pit, showstopper available.
I mean, we've mentioned Kicks and how he struggled a little bit on this Viper pick, but when it mattered the most, he made sure that he was showing up. Jisoo's gonna have the showstopper. It's not going to connect, it just flies right over Vong. That is the most unfortunate thing I have seen in a while. Besides the 2 kills on the Boombot. That was also funny.
Laza just posting up here still. Oh, how does he even get Cider? That's a great flick. Kicks. Bunker, they seem to want to commit the drop, but Laza is out of there.
Yeah, Kicks is now gonna have the Viper's Pit. He's gonna use it to try and get the rest of the team onto A side. It's just him, Chihuahua, and just him and Bonkar. Chihuahua, as he's looking to go for that drop, immediately punished for it. Bonkar's gonna find one orbital strike doing no damage at the moment. But only 30 seconds left on the clock, and they need to go for that plant if they want to. Kicks down means no more Viper Pit, and Bonkar down means no more round for Bonk. That's how Le Petit Bouffons close it out 13-11 on their own map pick. They're in the lead. And although it was a little bit back and forth, eventually Le Petit Bouffons, they did manage to close it out. Of course, otherwise you're going to be...
Yeah, I mean, they're in the lead, but like I think that was a great map overall for Bonk as well. Them getting back into the match is great, and yeah, it was Le Petit Bouffons map pick. Next is gonna be Haven, which is gonna be Bonk's map pick, which is kind of confusing, but I think it's really hard for Le Petit Bouffons to come with a really heavy confidence. Obviously Laza is always gonna have confidence. I don't know how this guy finds it like in tough situations, but he's always like dominating. I think he had a couple rough games, especially against HSDR, but it seems like he's always on the highlight reel, getting amazing picks and sometimes even carrying this team. Maybe not even sometimes.
Maybe not even sometimes, but all in all, you're correct. Like, Le Petit Bouffons, this was their map pick, and it went so close to the point where it was 13-11. So they have definitely been put through it, but at the same time, that's going to give them the opportunity to identify some of the weaknesses and strength of Bonk, and also some of their own weaknesses and strengths, which they can then potentially translate onto Haven. The map that they've actually only played once so far, and again, more dominant on the defensive round than the attacking round. I think this is just a theme that we keep on seeing here in Polaris. And looking at Le Petit Bouffons going on to Haven, again, it could be anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Haven is one of those maps that I really like. Every time I see it on the hands of Bunker. Even back in Guild, I think they had great setups. They were innovating in that map as well. And I'm amazed to see, or I want to see whether they're going to switch something up, because they definitely have the chance to do that, especially in Bunker, you know, innovating those stuff. But I think even coming with the same composition and being on the same level that they were in this map, but with more confidence, because it's their own map pick, they could have a great game there too. So 27 kills. I mean, we keep highlighting Laza. It's amazing highlight, but Juzu in the end there, he was the one pulling the strings, pulling them back. Amazing 3k entries on the site. And it's just wonderful to see him popping off with the race, and I think Haven might be a map where you're gonna see more of that race.
Yeah, 323 ACS. This guy knows what he's doing, okay? I mean, fair play to Leza on the chamber. He's done a lot, and especially towards those final few rounds of the map, it was really Leza stepping up to the plate that has given them the opportunity to just close it out and to actually be able to be where they are at the moment, being in the lead. But it's a matter of, are you going to be able to replicate that again on Haven? Like Haven, as we said, it is going to be Bonk's map pick. They are the ones that are comfortable on it. So if you want an answer to that question, just make sure that you're back here after the break.